You guys, Doctor Who, here they are. This is your very first Comic-Con. You haven't been to one of these before.
No, it's cosmic.
How do you feel? There are about 7,000 people here who came out to see. You can't even see the back.
I've never been in front of 7,000 people before in my life. I can't hear them all though properly. I can't hear you at the back. All those years of pantomime.
This is, Series 8 was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved the tonal shift in the show. You are phenomenal as the Doctor. I love that you're kind of cranky and intense and you sort of don't know if he's a good guy or not. And did you and Steven talk about all that stuff going into the season? How did you arrive at this guy?
I think he just saw those qualities in me. Just cast me that way.
This is the guy that we've arrived at.
It's pretty quick, actually, because you're seeing it, and there's a sort of massive shock at the beginning because it's somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, those first rushes, which were for his first appearance in Deep Breath, when he pops out the Tardis, that is the first thing that he shot, apart from the regeneration. And so you're very, very quickly seeing what, how it sounds, how it feels coming out of that new mouth. But in a way, you almost want to sort of blind yourself to what it is you're doing. You just start writing for that voice.
Yeah.
And Peter's a very, very distinct voice. And he's Scottish, which just is automatically better. And for some reason easier for me, I don't know.
And you just let him be Scottish this season.
Well, we've let him be English before. What difference is it? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, why would he have an English accent, American accent, a Scottish accent? Why?
Because a lot of places have the North.
Not you, apparently.
Not me, no. I didn't say I was good at it. People already knew who you were going into this, but did you feel the weight of Doctor Who immediately? I mean, has it been on like any other experience, any other show that you've worked on before?
Well, it's the only show that I think is in my bones very deeply. It's the only show that I've followed since I was 6 years old. So although, I always think people have a very intimate relationship with the program Doctor Who, even though it now exists on this scale, which is huge and wonderful. It's the only show that I've ever been in that I really knew and loved. And even when I went and I did an episode with David Tennant, it was fantastic. And I was so excited to be there, and I thought that would be my only contribution, the only time that I would get to be in Doctor Who. And I remember turning up on the set and saying to him, David, where's the TARDIS? And he took me over to the police box in the corner, and I got quite teary. I thought,
you're like, someday.
No, I never thought that. I never thought that would be a direction that we'd be going in again with Doctor Who. So I was thrilled that Stephen did decide to go in that direction, and here I am.
Yeah. Jenna, a wonderful companion. I mean, it's even sort of... I even feel like it's weird to even use the term companion because I feel like you kind of domed the Doctor this season a little bit. I mean, it wasn't... It felt like he was...
There was some slapping that I feel at some stage.
It kind of felt like there were some episodes where it sort of feels like he's her companion right now. So, coming from the previous seasons, did you guys figure out like, well, let's take a little bit of a turn with Clara. Let's kind of make her more this character?
No, not really. I mean, we saw the school teacher side of Clara, and I think maybe like the earthbound side of Clara, and then actually, I think a lot of that series was about them working each other out and working how this new dynamic is going to work. Which is great actually, because we're mid-shooting at the moment, and in a way we've found our groove together, and I feel like they are on really equal kind of terms. They're both help drive the TARDIS, but I help drive the TARDIS.
Yeah, of course.
I press a lot of buttons and
Yeah.
Peter looks at me.
And you stick your hands into that jelly psychic stuff.
I try to. I get really overexcited, and then I just see Peter being very cool, just staring at me across the console, like, no.
But this also, you know, you were managing a relationship this season, and so how did your relationship with Danny Pink, how did that factor in with your, what is the relationship with you and the Doctor at this point?
Now?
Yeah.
What we're filming right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously you probably can't really say. In series
Look straight
8,
at Stephen.
in series 8, what was your guys' relationship?
I think we were figuring it out. It was kind of quite experimental. It was, I mean, it's kind of like getting to know your best friend all over again, and the rules are different, and the dynamic is totally different. So it was a case of it all being thrown up in the air and us exploring together and seeing how it falls, I suppose.
Yeah. One of the questions, like over on Walking Dead, it's like, well, can you have a relationship in the zombie apocalypse? And it seems like, how hard is it to maintain a relationship when you are a companion to this man who snaps you up at a moment's notice? And how do you manage a personal life in that world?
Well, she has a rule that she has to be dropped off like 30 seconds after she left the TARDIS, after she left.
Right.
That was kind of a thing, because she doesn't actually live on the TARDIS.
No.
She's saying, I'll come and travel through all the time and space with you, but only if you'll drop me off 30 seconds after I've left, so, you know, I don't miss like maths class or something.
Right. Why do you think she does it?
I think she's a bit of a control freak, and I think she's trying to have both lives at once.
Yeah. Because she basically lied to Danny a couple times, like, oh, he says it's fine.
No, it was like bending the truth. Got in a big tangle of lies last series, but this series, it's much more, she is headfirst in the TARDIS with the Doctor.
Right. I want to talk to Michelle for a sec about a wonderful, I mean, you should be caught up by now if you're here, but Mistress, seeing the arc of her and seeing all the speculation from that first episode and then seeing, oh, heaven, afterlife, weird, Missy, what was your approach to this character as we got crumbs of her throughout the season and then finally paying off?
Well, luckily I never know why I'm saying what I'm saying, so it kind of helped to kind of arrive fresh and just trying to stay as present as I could on the day, and obviously the writing is all there for me. It's kind of one of the easiest jobs I've ever had, because it's just a thrill to turn up and be given this opportunity to be the master. It's still sort of a pinch me moment, really. So I just hope that, you know, as long as I knew my lines and I could turn up on the day, that some little bit of magic would happen. And it just, you know, we're really lucky that the dynamic between the three of us was sort of instantly really seemed to work. So.
Who do you think the Master is, and what do you think she wants ultimately?
I think he or she or it is everybody's idea of the kind of the best villain you could have. Maybe it's like the kind of like the best friend that you love to hate, I suppose, in a way. And she gets to say all the stuff that we think, but we're not allowed to say. She just has a kind of attitude where the rules don't apply to her, and it's that makes it really fun to play.
But there was a really nice moment at the end where it just seemed like she just wants her friend. Like, it just seemed to be about friendship. And where you would think, well, there are these two opposing forces and they're constantly at odds with each other, but at the end it just seemed like, no, I just, you know, like, what happened to us?
I mean, yeah, if you really break it down, it's like it's this great friendship that just went wrong, you know, and we've all had them, and so it sort of seems to be like her life's purpose to kind of, you know, chase after the Doctor and try and make him understand that, you know, no, you started it, I'm right. So as long as you're not getting that, so. And you're also getting in the way of me trying to destroy the universe, which, you know.
But we've all been there.
I really have to do, but the Doctor's just a bit of an irritant when it comes to that.
Stephen, how do you define their relationship with the Doctor?
They are friends. That's the terrifying thing. That's what's interesting, but they're not enemies at all. She isn't his arch enemy. The Master's always been the Doctor's best friend. They're just it's a friendship between a vegetarian and a hunter. That's what it is. Now, if you were to talk to Missy right now, and indeed you just have, she would say, well, what do you mean? I kill people.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think's in your bacon sandwich right now?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so what?
Yeah,
Right.
The Doctor's a bleeding heart liberal, and I like to kill people for fun. That doesn't mean we don't have a lovely time together.
I mean, that's the difference right there. We both do the same thing. We both kill a lot of people. He feels bad about it, I don't.
Right.
She meant in character.
Broadly speaking.
How do you see it, Peter? How do you see their relationship?
Doctor and the Master.
Yeah.
I think she distresses him terribly.
Yeah.
I think he's pleased to see her. And I have to say, really, a lot of it has been made of the gender change. But I think people should really applaud Michelle for coming into this role and embracing it and filling it so completely. So yeah, I think he finds her, his heart kind of sinks. You know, when someone walks into the room, you go, I'm pleased to see you, and you go, oh, I remember, now I'm going to have to go through all this shit. Something really bad is going to happen. I'm going to have to put up with all of this.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, because basically, you know, up until he spent so much of his time thinking, I'm alone in the universe, I'm the last of my kind. Oh, I'm not! Oh, that's the one that survived.
Yeah.
You know?
Life is shit, business as usual.
But the idea, there seemed to be this...
That's Scottish philosophy.
But this idea where it seemed like they were trying to this season to show, do you think the Doctor understands who he is? Do you think he's able to admit what he is? And do you agree with the assessment of a lot of the story going, no, you're a soldier, like you kill people. You're not, you may not be a good guy.
No, I think the Doctor I think the process of regeneration is one that's as much of a shock to the incumbent as it is to everyone else. So I think he doesn't know who he is. So he spends a lot of the time scrambling around trying to find out what his character is, what his nature is. And obviously in season 8, I think he struggled a lot with the fact that he knew that he was compelled from within to pursue the greater good, which would often mean that he would leave wreckage in his path. And he would do that, but he wasn't comfortable with it. He didn't know that that was a good thing to do or to be. So he's a constantly growing character. I think he is not a soldier. He's a good guy. He'd rather that there was no violence. He'd rather that there was peace. He'd rather sit in the car park at night looking at the stars, than have to go out and blow up Daleks. I like blowing up Daleks. And I think he enjoys it as well once he gets going. But yeah, I don't think he sees him as... He's not a military figure.
Right.
He's a sort of bohemian / philosopher / rebel Time Lord.
Great. Jenna, it seemed like Clara was sort of struggling with who he was this season a lot too. And it seemed like there was one particular episode where it seemed like, oh, they're going to break up. Like there was a breakup episode, which genuinely made me sad at the top of the episode. We were like, well, this is our last, because it felt very much like, oh, when you're in a relationship, you have one more time and maybe this is it.
Yeah.
Did she really believe that was going to be it?
I think she got scared, actually. I think it was the Kill the Moon episode you're talking about, where they had the big Barney at the end. And
Yes.
I think she got scared and suddenly didn't feel safe, maybe for a moment, because she was so used to having the 11th Doctor. She was familiar with how it was working, and then suddenly your best friend changes his face, and who knows what to trust anymore. So I think it was... it was just getting to know each other all over again, getting to know somebody who, You described it to me as, imagine going in to see someone who's had an operation, who looks different, and you go to see them, and it's like changing all the rules, basically.
Yeah. And do you think she's starting to get to a comfortable place?
Oh yeah, they're very much team. I think after the end of last series, they found their groove, and they're very united in the TARDIS, kind of eating up all of time and space with reckless abandon.
Excellent.
What could possibly go wrong? The finale.
We are going to take some questions in a few minutes, but right now we were talking about Series 8, but I think now is a good time to spin a little bit and start talking about Series 9. We happen to have a first look, never before seen trailer of Series 9, which seems like this is the appropriate place to show that. So let's roll the preview for Susan. Oh my God! So we got an air date for the next series, September 19th. We see that you're all in it, so that's good. And then a little Maisie Williams cameo at the end there. What can you say about that, Steven?
Well, nothing.
Damn it!
It's going to be surprising what she gets up to, but honestly, I can't see a single thing about it, and it would spoil it all.
I guess that's
she's
true.
great.
Yeah. So going into this season, from the transition from last season to this season, how did you feel? Was there anything different any direction that was different that you wanted to go, or just now that you've been in his skin for a while?
Yeah.
What's Series 9 been like?
It's been a gas. It's just been so much fun. I think it's great feeling that the writers all know me now and sort of want to write for me. And I think because Clara and the Doctor feel more in a groove, I think that they are really enjoying being the luckiest people in all of history, because they get to play with this immense toy box, which is time and space in the universe, and they throw themselves recklessly, into the pursuit of adventure, which is lovely. That's a whole kind of different tone. That's a whole kind of, it's daredevil, it's fun, it's witty, and it's clever. We also have men in rubber suits pretending to be monsters, which is one of the great things about Doctor Who. You will always have, there's a B-movie element that still survives, along with the philosophical Freudian.
Yes, but the effects did get a lot better.
The effects are fabulous, but I think one of the great, people say, what was it like? When did you first feel like Doctor Who? I think it was when they threw a rubber spider in my face and said, fight it. I said, doesn't it work? Where's the operator? They said, there is no operator, it's just a big rubber spider. Fight it. So yeah, that was great.
How's Series 9 been for you?
Me?
Yeah.
It's been good. There's kind of a freedom, I think, to us both being in our glory years, and it's kind of really adrenaline fueled and all about living in the moment and pushing the adventure right up to the edge. And obviously, with that comes quite extraordinary danger. But it's just been very fun.
Do you think she's running at all from, she suffered a pretty great tragedy at the end of last season.
I think so. I think it's a change of perspective and a change of, the idea life is short and I want to live it and feel alive and eat up time and space and hang out with my best mate in the TARDIS, and I think that's all she wants.
Yeah, it's just the idea that you could do that and still be a teacher at the same time. Do you think a companion could ever have a normal life again once their lives have been touched in that way?
She's a multitasker, I think. But I think that's part of the problem is that once you've kind of eked open and opened that cupboard and seen all of time and space, how do you go back? how do you go back to living on Earth and living a normal life? I think that's, I think it becomes addictive, and I think that's probably part of the problem.
Yeah. For you, Michelle, at the end of last season, we saw you vanish. You seemed sad. Not that the plan didn't work so much as just like, oh, I guess I don't get to have my friend after all. So what type of renewed energy do you feel like is taking you into Series 9? Like, where is she going to be coming from now?
She has to come at it from a different angle, which is kind of surprising and exciting to play as well. It's a slightly different dynamic to her. And to be honest, I still can't quite believe that they've asked me back. And so I'm still kind of, relishing that. And so there's something that's slightly different to her. And I don't know whether it's because in the time it's taken to finish the last series and then come to this one, what she's been doing in between, we can only imagine, probably taking tea with the Queen. She does quite like tea. So, I don't know, you just wait and see. It's all very good.
Am I crazy for thinking that it feels like with this Doctor, he just lets anyone on like there were so many different people where it's just like, sure, come on, I'm a time traveler in time and space, whatever. It was like I feel like in previous seasons they were trying to guard that a little more. And they're like, doors open, come in, let's all, you go to school here, get in here, come on, we'll take you to the, I mean, it seemed like there was a much more of an open door policy with the Tardis in Series 8.
Well, Peter's got such a friendly face. I didn't particularly, I was really aware of it. I think the Doctor's got more relaxed. I mean, in the old series, at the beginning, he was very, very strict when he got on board the TARDIS. Yeah, it's true, but for quite a long while now, he's just basically saying, yes, he's bigger on the inside, get over it. It's fantastic, the story. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, and I used to think about this when I was a kid watching the show, and I bet I'm not the only one. I used to wonder why the Doctor didn't more often use that as no, I really am an alien from outer space. You don't believe me? Okay, look at that. That's an alien from outer space, isn't it? Okay, it's bigger on the inside. Why didn't he ever do that, is what I always used to wonder when I was a kid. Yeah. I see it was only me. My mum was right, I should have got a girlfriend instead. Applause for my imaginary girlfriend. Virginity kept me pure.
Peter, do you feel like, do you think he's becoming gentler? Do you feel like it's passion, or do you feel like, I mean, do you think he's a super nice guy?
Do I think he's a nice guy?
Yeah, because he comes off kind of abrasive sometimes to people, and
he's fabulous. He's a wonderful guy. He's a guy you really want to hang around with. He's incredible. He's a laugh. He's great looking. He's terrifically live for his age.
Yeah.
I think he's, we sort of live in a world where everybody's supposed to be everybody's so easy, everything's so accessible. So, the Doctor's mysterious. He's a Time Lord, he's not a guy. He's a special creature. I don't even know whether he even has a corporeal being. He may present this to everyone, but he may exist in a totally different plane. So he's not a guy. But if he was a guy, he'd have my face and he'd be really nice.
Clara helps him out this year with the social situations.
Yes.
Clara teaches him how to interact with humans a little bit more this season.
Yes.
So he knows the right things to say in the right situations.
What do you think he thinks when he's with a human one-on-one? Like, what is he thinking? Is he thinking, oh, they're interesting, they're like adorable pets? Or do you think he feels like they're on the same level in some way? Or
I think he thinks, do I look bored?
My first instinct then was, hurry up.
Yeah.
But it's great this year because actually Clara does help him with his social skills. Tries to make him more of a welcome party guest. What kind of it's amazing. I think that with the Doctor I play, regarding that kind of TARDIS question, I always felt he was the kind of guy who would say, you walk through these doors, this is bigger on the inside, you come with me, and the whole of time and space will be available to you. Come with me. And if you blink and you don't go, yeah, he's gone.
Right.
He doesn't wait for you. You know, if you don't want to come, you know, get on with your own life.
I think we can open the floor to some questions now. I'm sure that the people have questions that they want to ask, so let's shine a light over there. Hello! What is it? Your microphone's right there. Hello!
Stephen, it's a puppet of you.
What is your name?
Puppet Laura.
Hello, Puppet Laura. Do you have a question?
Yes. Well, with the new doctor and the new Missy,
I'm sorry, I was talking to Puppet Laura.
the new doctor
Yes.
and the new mistress. With the new season coming along and how they interacted in the last season, how will the dynamics be now? Since we know she's trying to be his best friend and he's awkward and different. So how will that dynamic change for season 9?
I think that's a Stephen question.
Well, I mean, it's the way Missy comes back into the Doctor's life is not something you're probably going to predict. It's very, very different. I don't think this is a new idea, by the way, the Doctor and the Master being good friends. One of the first things I did when I started writing this was go back and look at the John Pertwee, Roger Delgado version, and they the sound of elderly fans clapping. It's a little bit slower. The first thing I do is that they absolutely play it. And as best friends, you know, one of them wants to blow up the world, one of them wants to stop it blowing up. But hey, you can't let those little things get in the way, can you? And you imagine they sort of go to a gentleman's club and have share some brandy afterwards. So that's not new. We do play in it, but don't worry, she's just as vile and psychopathic as ever, in a lovely way.
Excellent. Thank you, Puppet Laura, and I assume Human Laura as well.
So any convincing human you've got with you?
Hello.
Oh my God.
Hi, I want to see if Jenna and Stephen remember me from my Make-A-Wish in 2013.
Oh yes, hello again.
Hi. And that really helped me get through a lot. And what I wanted to ask is, this is for everyone, that every villain, hero, companion, even writer, has something iconic about them, about their character, about the way, about the tone that they put to the story. What do you think is yours?
That is a way better question than anything I said. What do you think is iconic about your Doctor?
You mean mine specifically, or?
Yeah.
Eyebrows. I just said eyebrows.
You don't get to say it, Peter, his eyebrows.
This eyebrow thing, apparently, because I don't get it myself, but.
Jenna, what about you?
Oh my goodness. I have no idea.
Eyes.
Eyes.
Eyes. Yeah, huge eyes.
Eyebrow, eyes. Michelle? Lips.
Obviously.
Yeah. When she absolutely plants on him in that episode.
Yeah.
And was it, I almost kind of wondered, if I were to watch back, is there even a second where he was like, oh, I know who this is? Or it's still, because it freaks him out whenever someone shows him affection.
Yeah, the question is who kissed who, and who hung on, and just didn't let go. And I think if you do play it back, and a few of you I imagine have often, you'll see that Peter is really, there's some suction there.
Yeah. He's definitely pulling her in.
There was one take where Michelle held my hand
Yes.
throughout the kiss.
What you didn't see was that I was actually also holding Clara's hand as I...
That answers a lot about the dynamic of season 9 then.
Did somebody just say that's odd?
No? That's hot. She said that's hot.
Because I don't think it's odd at all.
No, she said that's hot. She thought that was hot. Yeah. Yes, what is your name?
Hi, my name's Bridget.
Oh, what's your question, Bridget?
My question's for Jenna. I was wondering how you transitioned from working with Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi. Capaldi and how you felt about it.
Well, it was a pretty roller coaster day. I think it's fair to say there aren't many shows where you switch the lead actor mid-scene. Literally with a handshake and a swap of the costume watch, because there was only one of them. But it just happened, and we came back and began to shoot a whole new Doctor Who in the January. But yeah, it was a roller coaster. It was saying goodbye to one dear friend and very excited, and hello to another, all at the same time.
Yeah, it is sort of the magic of the show that I think, as you know, if you're a diehard fan of the show, it's always heartbreaking when you watch a regeneration episode and you cry about it for a couple days, and then you're a little, yeah, I cry, okay? And so, Mike knows what I'm talking about. And so, then after a couple episodes, you're like, oh, this new guy is, but I don't know if I can't like him. And then after like 2 episodes, you're like, okay, he's pretty good. And then by the, then halfway through the season, you're like, don't go anywhere. Like it's just this interesting, this like loss but getting new people and accepting new people. I mean, it's just life, The show is just life. What is your name and question?
Hi, my name is Allie, and my question is for everyone. What are your opinions on eventually having a female doctor?
You said everyone, but I don't think I get a say. I'll start with Stephen.
Well, there is no vacancy. It's worth pointing out you just met Peter Capaldi and said, when you leave, there is no vacancy. Well, I think my opinion is fairly obvious from the show, isn't it? What I think about the possibility and whether it would work or not. I think I've expressed myself about as clearly as I could in the context of the show. If you're not reading the subtext, then hell mend you. But believe me, some people aren't reading that subtext because it's too subtle.
Yeah, and I'm not going to reveal myself as a man today.
That would be such a disappointment, especially for Jack Davenport.
Jenna, how do you want to take a shot?
I'm sure it will happen at some point, but like Stephen says, I think it's just about casting the right actor, and I don't think Peter's going to change costume or anything.
At this point.
Well, maybe I should do a drag episode just to try that.
Don't say that with Stephen here. It will happen.
You totally have to do like a Dr. Doubtfire episode.
I think the doctor's sister should have been.
Oh, hello. You guys look amazing. Dr. Donna. Fantastic.
Yeah. In 1,000 years, when Doctor Who is found again, everyone will remember all of you. Simon, I have a question for you. As a writer, what is your greatest inspiration in literature, and what do you pull most from in time?
Oh, this is such a depressing answer. Probably Doctor Who. It's what made me want to be a writer. It is. I'm not making this up for the sake of this panel. I saw Doctor Who and saying, "Oh, that's amazing. One day I shall run that show." My parents were surprised. I hadn't spoken until then. So it was. I was so inspired by Doctor Who. I remember. What got me interested in television was the fact that the Doctor changed, and I couldn't understand why. I thought, well, why would they do that? And eventually my dad explained to me because one actor wanted to leave and another one wanted to come in. I thought, that's interesting. I didn't know they could do that. And then I had to deal with the idea that somebody would be Doctor Who and then choose not to be Doctor Who. And I've had to live through that as an adult as well. It's quite frightening. But no, it really sort of is. I mean, the other influences as a writer if you ever want to know how to write a screenplay, forget all those how to write a screenplay books and just read William Goldman. Every screenplay William Goldman's ever written is amazing, so that's worth reading. Neil Simon is a god of comedy. If you want to understand how comedy works, read Neil Simon. But really, above all, I think the horror of Fang Rock is really cool. That's a Doctor Who story for those of you who are new. So it's a slightly boring answer, but that's the one.
Maybe Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in there too, for good measure. Do you have a question?
I do. My question is for Peter. So, with your expert experience in all of the previous seasons, do you think that the 12th Doctor would ever want to travel with any other companion, and who would it be?
I think that
Donna.
I think he loves traveling with Clara. I think that's the special bond he has is with Clara.
This is because we're going back to work on Monday. This is why.
I've got to say that. But I think he'd like to see his granddaughter again.
Oh, good answer. Oh, that was a perfect answer, you sly dog. No one could get mad at that. You were like, Kylie Minogue. No, but you went. You went granddaughter. Hi, what is your name?
Hello, my name is Christopher.
And you've come to the wrong panel, haven't you? We're on in the ballroom in about half an hour.
My question is for all three actors, but in particular Miss Gomez. Yeah, it's because you said that. Could you give us a brief description of what your character's idea of a perfect day would be?
Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a perfect Sunday. Like, what's a perfect day? Starting with Michelle.
Okay. I just like squashing big bugs. Probably in the shape of, let me see, the biggest bug of all. I think she could probably, her perfect day would be starting with some tea, maybe a little croissant, and then slapping Wonder Woman in the face.
Jenna?
I suppose it's teaching a bit of Jane Austen, followed by walking into the stationery cupboard, opening the door to the Tardis, and then jetting off to like Jupiter, or Uranus, or some strange planet from afar.
So Jupiter. So then Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter's good.
Let's focus on Jupiter. Kill some octopus-shaped aliens, save the world, have a cup of tea with the Doctor, and get an early night.
Nice. So you do that a lot. Peter.
I think I'd probably get up, have a nice big pot of coffee, read the papers, think this is really relaxing, I really like this, and then get really bored. And look up into the night sky, which would be odd because it's in the morning, but everybody's on another planet where morning is night. I would think, yes, let me go to a planet where morning is night. Yes, I think he would just, every day he just starts off wanting to have a nice quiet time and then thinks, oh, this is dull, it's all out there. Let me go out there and go to the planet Scarrow and see where they're at.
Why do you think he's so enamored of humans?
Budgetary reasons.
Fair answer. Thank you, Christopher. Hello. What is your name?
My name is Chloe.
And what is your question?
Given the opportunity that the Doctor and Sherlock have an episode together, which should happen, how do you, Peter, think that the personalities would work out? Like, how would you react?
More cleverly.
Be a long conversation about billing, trust me.
Yeah, because I think one of the first times I met Steven, I thought I was really clever, and I was like, well, I mean, the Doctor's just space Sherlock, and he was like, no, he's not! And then I immediately shrank down because I just said a dumb thing to someone I admired, and then, so the Doctor has compassion for everyone, and Sherlock has compassion for no one, basically.
Yeah,
So-
they're very different, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how well they get on. But for the record, just for the record, no one believes this, I have no problem with the idea of them meeting. It's all the rest of them that have got a problem with it. Why do anything for a laugh? I'm a tart. Not an actual tart. No offers.
Hi, what's your name?
Hey, my name is Ethan. I have a question for probably Moffat or Jenna.
Moffat. Stephen is fine.
Moffat.
Jenna's character has been divided into multiple versions, as we saw with two previous before her character came on. Will we ever see maybe more versions of Clara's character from Time and Space?
Well, we'd never tell you what we're going to do in advance, would we? But Doctor Who magazine has done a rather good comic strip version of that. So if you want to see that, it's actually available there. It's really quite good.
Good answer, Moffat.
Everybody in my family is called Moffat. It doesn't feel very specific.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
My question is for Jenna. Sorry, I got nervous for a second.
No, don't be nervous. They're very normal. I'm poking him right now. He's a person. You're safe. This is the safest place.
Doing, or was it like a happy accident?
It was a very happy accident. I was one of the denied children, so it was never on in my childhood. So my first experience was literally just getting Stephen Moffat's sides of playing 3 different characters in one audition, and I just had so much fun. I loved it, and had a couple of meetings with Matt, and it was so surprising how many different versions of one scene you can play with, and how sharp and witty and just fun and funny the writing was and is. So it was an extremely happy and very lucky accident.
How did you feel your life changed from the second it started airing with you on the show?
I mean, it changed really from that first audition, but it's the storytelling that you get to do, and the adventures, and the sets that you walk onto, and the mad old stunts, and aliens, and green screen. You know, the whole experience is really like nothing else. And then you step out of it for a second and come to places like this, and get greeted by lots of very cool people. It's just incredible storytelling at its best. With somebody described it to me as an imagination explosion. And I like that description.
Yeah, because you basically just shoot in a bubble, and you work most of the year, and so you probably, I would imagine it's very difficult for you to see the effect that the show is having on people until you come to an event like this. What's it like over in England? Is it similar? Are people similar? Are the cons similar over there?
Yeah, I mean, what did you imagine they were like?
Well, because when Matt and Karen and Arthur first came over, it completely melted their brains, because people, they did that thing in New York where people waited in line for 2 days outside, and they were like, oh my God, people in England aren't like this, and it really, like, they were excited, but it also freaked, like, they were like jolted by it a little bit.
In terms of the reaction, Americans are much more generous and outgoing, and the way British people enjoy themselves in public is secretly. You try not to let it show. I do that too. I mean, I can't move my face. People think I'm grumpy all the time. It's just, I don't know how it works. That's what playing to a room full of British people say. They'll come out saying, that was absolutely hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. So, yeah, there is that. But people are very excited with Doctor Who in Britain too.
Yeah.
They are. But also, we get plucked from this bubble in Cardiff to here. In Cardiff, we're just making a show and working, and then suddenly we're here, and there's a room full of 7,000 people, and there's a lady with all those badges, and it's really incredibly exciting and different. And strange, and why she got so many badges?
Oh, is that Butt Lady? Yeah, that's Butt Lady. Oh, there she is.
Badges.
Yeah. But
This is my friend Karen.
Oh,
hi.
My question is for Mr. Well, first I wanted to mention Mr. Capaldi, because I just wanted to show that I could say it right. Did you like the button that I gave you yesterday?
It was great. I got a fabulous badge. I said, not a hugger.
And my question is for Mr. Moffat, Stephen.
hello. Mr. Moffat's fine. Mr. Moffat, it doesn't work.
I noticed that you made Matt's doctor very special by having his face for the longest amount of years. How are you going to show the love to Peter?
Well, you mean I showed my love to Matt by trapping him for 1,000 years in a village?
Yes.
You have a very strange way of expressing love. I aged him to death. That's not how you express affection.
You also made him
marriage,
bald.
I suppose. Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm not going to answer you because there's an answer coming up in the show.
Excellent. Thank you. Did you have another question, Butt Lady, or are you all set? It's good to see you again. All right. Hello.
I was wondering if you had any tips for aspiring actors, just to all.
For aspiring actors.
Go into hosting is what I did. Because I'm a crappy actor.
Read a lot. Read a lot of books and read as much as you can.
As somebody who's endured a lot of rejection, and as somebody whose nickname by their agent is the Roach, as in the cockroach, because I'm now an inspiration to the younger clients because I keep getting squashed like a bug out there and I keep coming back. So my tip would be just never give up. And this world is abundant and there's enough for everyone, and if you do give up, somebody else is going to take your spot anyway. So if you really just believe in yourself and keep going, you'll get your 5 minutes of fame.
Peter, do you have an answer for that? Do you have an answer for that?
Me?
For young actors, yeah.
Learn your lines.
Learn your lines. I gotta say, just really quickly, I know you weren't seriously asking me, but I do have a suggestion for you, which is the technology has basically made it possible for you to just make the thing that you want, you know? So just make stuff, don't be afraid to make stuff, don't be afraid to fail, make stuff with your friends, find someone who's like a writer and a producer, form a group, put it on YouTube, put your stuff out in the world, and when you start pursuing that path, like, answers will start to reveal themselves to you, so there are no excuses anymore. Just make the stuff that you want to see exist in the world, and then if the business catches up with you, great, and if not, you're making the stuff you want, and that should make you happy. So that's my advice for that. I'm not trying to, don't do that. I'm not trying to do an open moment. You get a car, and you get a car.
And now someone who's taken that part.
Hello.
My name is Jericho Salazar, and I'm the Grinch.
I love that that's the aside. I'm the Grinch.
Okay, I want to ask this. Well, first off, I love you, all of you guys. Thank you for coming here. You're amazing.
So can you just wake that lady up, see behind you?
Thanks for keeping it real.
We love Doctor Who.
I want to ask you, Peter.
Yeah.
Whenever you become the Doctor, whenever you are the Doctor, do you ever feel all the other doctors inside of you burning? like some residue they left, the sensation, their souls, I guess?
First of all, that's a very sexy question. Second of all, I can't stop watching your fingers.
Do I feel the other doctors
Inside you.
inside me?
Deep inside you.
Well, I often feel Tom Bacon appearing. time to time. Yeah, sometimes you do something and you think that's very Tom or David or John, but I don't sort of consciously try to emulate any of them. I think they're all wonderful, but certainly they echo throughout the show. So we do in the scripts. There are moments of resonance when there are bits and pieces of things that I know have begun with another Doctor, and I'm always very happy to play those moments.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Grinch. We have time for one more question, which is you. What is your name, sir?
Hi, my name's Gabe, and I just want to say you guys are all wonderful people and everything, and I appreciate you guys coming down here. And Jenna, I just want you to know that I can be the impossible boy to your impossible girl. Because you're like one of my favorite companions. But my question goes back to you and Peter. Out of just being in this series, what is, I guess, like the most amazing thing that's happened to you that you're expecting to come from the show?
That I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
You know, it's just an extraordinary experience, the whole thing. I mean, I didn't realize the show. People tell you that the show is successful overseas and that it was catching on in America, but I didn't realize it was to this scale. So to come here and find this warmth and affection for something that that goes all the way back to my childhood, and I find myself in the center of now, is absolutely extraordinary. But you know, the most amazing thing that happens is that I get the affection for the whole 50 years pointed in my direction. And that's a great position to be.
Thank you very much for your question. I'm going to show you a couple more things before we let you continue sitting there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have, did you want to answer that? Did you have an answer for that?
Did you just hear that?
But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Did you want to?
No.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Because you can, and obviously that guy totally loves you.
I was just going to say how much I love Peter Capaldi and how he is one of my favourite human beings, and one of the best bits about the job, sorry to embarrass you terribly, is going to work every day in the Tardis with this guy.
Excellent. Thank you. I don't know if you guys saw online, but there's a thing called Lego Dimensions. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, but if you haven't, it will melt your brain. So we're going to show that really quickly, and then you can scoop your brains back into your head, and then we'll. And then also before we go, I'm excited to announce, we haven't announced this yet, but Nerdist is working with BBC America. We're producing a special called The Doctor's Finest. We're going to revisit 8 of our favorite episodes and wrap them with some segments and trivia and fan-generated content and tons of Comic-Con footage. And it's being hosted by Hannah Hart, who is amazing. So that premieres Saturday, August 15th on BBC America. Please help me, a huge round of applause, Peter Capaldi.